rises higher. The night's young, it has just begun. She puts her hand in hers. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light. Pulls up from the side, just two hearts running wild. Never say never stop. Never shut from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. As the afternoon, we lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light. Pulls us from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop. Never shout from the top. We're gonna be. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Everyone, it's Wednesday and it is 14:36, which is also translating into 2:36 p.m. Central European Time here in the Netherlands. And I thought it's time to hang out again. It's Wednesday, and I want to be a little bit more consistent on when I'm trying to go live. So I am trying to make like a schedule for it. But yeah, is it gonna be that easy to make? Well, actually, I'm pretty busy in January for various reasons. But today I'm live. I hope maybe tomorrow evening, so that will be US afternoon, I could go live. And then every second Monday, I want to go live. And then ideally, when possible, every Wednesday, unless other things collide. So that's kind of the thoughts. But there is always exceptions to be had. Hello, Suzanne. Wonderful to have you around. Hello. Please greet back. And Sanita, nice to have you in here. So I don't have big plans today, actually. I do have a few projects laying around that we can work on, but I do actually want to finish this headband, which is an order for my from my mom-in-law, so my in-laws. And I need another row. This is a bit thinner yarn than what I have done the others with. So you will see that they do have more stitches. And this is like 3 rows in total, or 3 repeats. And this is already 3. So you can see there's a difference here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another row here, or repeating round of the star stitch of this. And then I might just temporarily try to fit it on to see if I believe it needs an extra or not, because it's a little bit like, it needs to be wide enough for you not to freeze your ears, right? So that was kind of the plan for my crocheting bits today, I guess. And then once this is finished, because obviously this is finished before I'm finished, or well, I hope it's finished before I'm finished, then I have 3 projects that we could work on. I have the diamond bag, which I'm working on. I have my Ceylon tea-shawl. Even though before we can start working on the Ceylon tea-shawl, we have to frock it back like 20 plus rows, which I'm not happy about. And then we have my mosaic blanket, the fleur, which I also frocked back a whole round because I made a mistake in every corner. So I didn't read the pattern. Well, I did read the pattern, but not well enough. So progress this week has been challenging. Let's put it like that. Like I thought I had finished everything nicely with the sail on, and I realized there's a mistake. I forgot to add 2 chains at some stage, which you can see if you look for it, obviously, and I do look for it, so I want to just make it nice, which means that I will eventually have to frog it back to get it done nicely. Yeah, I have a whole skein almost here of the Julia yarn. Definitely not going to use that whole skein for finishing up this headband. And yeah, we also have a poll running. So the poll running is on my community tab, and that is asking us what project I should start on working next of the drops patterns. And right now it looks like we're going to make another poncho. And I can imagine if I do manage to go live tomorrow evening, that starting on that poncho would be in the mix, or a thought, or yeah, you get what I mean, right? But right now, here the goal is just to get this headband done and complete. That would be very nice. And I see Nightbot is also popping in here. It's actually been pretty good weather here today. I guess it is the sunshine after the storm, because honestly, yesterday and like it's been really winter-ish. Sunday I woke up to snow, and then it started raining after that, and it's been raining quite more or less nonstop feeling. And Monday it's been windy. Yesterday it was still windy, but not as windy. Um, yeah, many things been going on basically, and weather is so. Today it's like I woke up and it was nice and sunny, so I'm like, finally the sun shines after the storm. But it's still winter, it's still chilly and night. But will tell us a bit about our local weather if we wanna know that or share that. Um, and that can be obtained by entering a weather and then either your city, depending on the size of the city, because some smaller cities it won't have, or zip code. But that again, the same. If it's a small city, then it won't have it. So I'll just take one of the bigger city in the neighborhoods here, um, just to share you my current weather. Um, and as you can see, even though it says it's mostly cloudy, the sun has been shining earlier today. Like when I woke up this morning, it was shining. And I almost for a second had the feeling that it could be summer, with the exception of the temperature told me it wasn't. Um, it's mostly cloudy with a temperature of 9 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the same as 4 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from south-southwest at 5 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 82%. And I believe the 82% is not necessarily because it's planning on raining anytime soon, but it's been quite wet few days, right? Yeah, so except for that, I am, as said, working on this headband. What I could do, if you ladies would like it, or gentlemen, if we have any gentlemen in here, is I could turn the camera around and you could like see my hands working, or flip it down. It's a little bit it's a little bit, yeah, I can't do that. I'm trying a new camera setup, so in that sense, I hope it would work, still. And the reason for that is basically it would be much less work for me to work it like this, which would be nice, right? So, and I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner. So that's nice. So yeah, except for that, not much crazy going on. Next week I will have visitors. So that's gonna be nice and cozy. See some friends, family, actually. So my parents is coming. Quite much looking forward to spending some time there. And of course, a little prayer that it's not going to be a snowstorm before then, because else my visiting plans will maybe get postponed. Um, Time flies. But yeah, so I'm a little bit annoyed about my 2 projects, because I spent quite a bit of time on them, but I have to frog them because there are mistakes in them. But I do believe that we all learn from frogging, right? Like we learn, I guess, to pay better attention, or it's not completely, it feels like wasted time, but I don't think we should consider it wasted time because, yeah, things are still happening, right? Like it's, like you must learn something during that process in the sense of for the Ceylon tea shawl, I learned how the pattern is going. I will still need to read it for a repeat though, but and I definitely learned to pay more attention. Normally, if I make mistakes and I need to frog something, it's only a row, 2 rows at best. But this is like a lot because it's quite far back in the very beginning. But I also know if I don't, and if I look at how much yarn I have left on the cake, it's not like I'm almost finished, right? That would have been worse. Then I would have probably just said, oh, leave it. But I'm like a quarter in ish. So frogging just seems to be the logic choice. I'm also looking for new series to stream. If you have any suggestions, I'm definitely keen to hear it. We do have access to Netflix via my in-laws. We have an extra subscription there. And then I do currently have access to Prime. And until the end of the month, I have access to HBO. I'm currently watching Dune, the Prophecy or something like that. But that's like just a few episodes and then it's done. And then what I might do is, so I've ended my subscription and then I might reopen it if or when they have good series returning, depending on how they do that. Because, yeah, I don't need all these streaming services if I can, like, collect it down to just a few and then only do the subscription when the full series is out and then binge it for a few days, right? That's the thought of it or the gist of it. In the beginning, I took the HBO subscription because of the Olympics in Paris. And when I wanted to end the subscription, they offered me like half price, 3 months for half price. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And there was a series I was streaming at that given time. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So HBO is not necessarily something I will have access to. But currently I do have access to Prime and Netflix. So if you have any series suggestions, feel free to put them in my inbox, so to say. And of course, I also watch fellow YouTubers sometimes, and that's also a nice thing to stream. It is our own little TV channel, right? YouTube, except for now we can also interact with one another. Are you working on anything nice today? What are you working on? Feel free to share. I'll be happy to know. And maybe we should flip the angle here so you can actually see what I'm doing. That would be much more fun. See if we can do that. I'm going to put us into the dual mode. A little bit less quality camera up in the right side. There. Haha. I need to get used to the sideways. And then we're going to see if this wants to tilt down. Huh. This actually went pretty nice and smooth. It's not too bad. That's definitely not too bad. Of course, it would be nice if I had a view like this so you can actually see what I see with my eyes. But I don't. Either I would have my big head in the way, or I don't know if I could do something that kind of, I don't know, somehow looks in over it. But I think this works a little bit. As I said, we are working the star stitch, so it is basically a bunch of stitches that we collect while we forward two. So what I do is I basically collect yarn over, and then I enter a new stitch where I yarn over again, and those all go until I have 6 on the hook, and then I'll yarn through all of them. It's the first time I make this in a thinner yarn. A part of me has the feeling this could easily have worked up in, so this is a 6mm hook. I could probably have used 6.5. But I still have the idea that it's pretty okay. I need to look my stash. I might have a 6.5mm somewhere. I have the idea I should have one. But it's not the hook sizes that I use the most. I will have to admit to that as well. Hello, Michael. Wonderful to have you with us this afternoon. Or, well, your morning it is. So I should say good morning. I hope the weather is wonderful at your place. For the fact that we are in the month of January in year 2025. So I had a letter today from my pension fund saying that, surprise, surprise, not a big one, that my former employer had stopped paying towards my pension plan. Well, of course, I don't work with him anymore. And then it said my expected retirement date, and I did not like that one. According to that, I'm supposed to work another 28 years before I can claim that money. 28 years! Oh, it's a bloody rip-off of time and life. They're also changing rules for freelancers in the Netherlands for the types of insurances and so on you have to have. So I really need to make a big, deep thoughts as to what I'm gonna be doing. It's what? You saying it's cold or snowy in Texas? You have to be kidding me. Is it snowing in Texas? Damn. Well, it is winter, so I guess that's valid, but snowing? I guess if you're in a mountainside, I always had this idea that Texas was a warm place, which it is in the summer, but so yeah, so my pension fund claims that they first want to pay me a pension when I'm, yeah, well, in 28 years, which I think is quite some time still. So I need to consider what I want to do, actually. I have a meeting tomorrow. So I did a test last week, a competency test, so to check if I have any hidden skills. Yay. And their employee that's kind of like going through the test with you and seeing if you might have different skills. We will have a meeting tomorrow, and we will talk about, well, I guess what he think could be a great opportunity for me, if there is any, or what we're gonna do. As I told you, would that have been last week? Maybe. Is that I actually had found a job and I had applied to it, and they called me. But they have a company policy that says you have to work at least 3 days a week in the office when you're working full time. They could maybe negotiate it down to me having to come to the office 2 days a week. Problem is, they were like 3 hours with public transportation away from where I am, and that's one way. So I have to go 3 hours there, 3 hours back, 2 times a week. It's just not gonna happen. like, and I could else optionally I would have to borrow a car or buy a car, but buying a car for that is also expensive, especially if you don't know that they will cover transportation costs there. Um, and uh, and yeah, driving it would still be like almost 100 kilometers each way, which is like quite a bit to fare. So I think the end conclusion were that if I any at any stage are in emergency need of cash, I can contact them and see if it's possible still and what we can negotiate. But with the base negotiation being I have to be there at least 2 or 3 times a week at the office, I think it's too far away for the pay and for what I have to do. Like, it's just not worth it. I can find something closer, I hope, I guess. Um, so that's kind of where we are at, right? So Susan will love to share her weather with us, and she is in New Jersey. And in New Jersey, the conditions are sunny with a temperature of 24 degrees of Fahrenheit, so that's negative 4 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from west northwest at 15 miles per hour, which is about the same as 24 kilometers per hour. So it is definitely more windy in New Jersey right now. Wind humidity is 49. Cold and windy. And when it comes from like northwest, I'd say it comes from like the colder bits in Canada, and that's like bringing a really like high chill factor or something like that. Like that, it's really the the wind feels really chilly as well. I can imagine. At least that would seem logic. Um. So yeah, I'm curious as if they have any career choices they think would work for me. And then we would have to have a look at that. Um, so yeah, I don't know exactly what, but the time is kinda what they would say running out. It's almost at the end of January, which is basically when my unemployment benefits come to an end, and by then I have to figure out what to do. Um, a part of me is just enjoying life right now. um, my freedom is back, so to say, but eventually I will need to make sure I have a set level of income. Um, I am trying to budget a bit, trying to calculate how much I need to earn to sustain um, a basic need, so to say, right? Um, and yeah, I'm just basically taking it step by step. We are getting closer here, so that's nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we know and chain. Yeah, step by step, exactly. Um, in many aspects, I guess I'm fine, right? Um, the quick math says that I have enough money to have no income for the next maybe 1.5 years, but let's say I'll be safe for another year. So I'm not like in a big stressed situation, and it could be even more if I really like dig into my deep savings. Um, so it could be that I go back into the freelancing aspect of life. Um, because I really enjoyed the freedom I had during that. I really enjoyed, yeah, I really enjoyed all the freedom during that. Let's see, we finished the round of the star stitches. Now we're just gonna join it up and kind of flip it around, and then do a bunch of half doubles all the way around. I do have some ideas also for this channel, like oh, that's not how. There is it. Like I want to make some more tutorials, also just basic stitches and so on, definitely. And I have a few things I can make reviews on and so on. So I do have some ideas for some more um, everlasting long content, one would say. And then, of course, the idea of wanting to go live on a more regular schedule, because I've not been really good at planning that. So I need to get better at that. And of course, we have the firefly sweater, which I used to work on during my lives. I got the shoulder bits sewn together. I just need to find out how far up, down I want my gaps of the arms, and then sew the sides together, and then basically start working on sleeves. So the real question is if we want to have specific projects that we work on during the lives, or if it has to be random projects. Like, is it? Do you want to follow a specific project weekly on a live, or would you rather just me picking up whichever I'm currently working on that I need to finish up? Like, if you have any preferences, I'll be happy to hear that, of course. Right now, we're just working on finishing this, and what we are gonna do when this round is complete is I'm gonna insert a stitch marker, and we are gonna see if we think we need to add another row or if we think it's good. And that depends. It could be good actually, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. Oops. But yeah, so feel free to share if you're working on anything today. I'll definitely would love to hear. Oh, good morning to him. And let me know where to pop in for breakfast. That sounds delicious. Usually it's me cooking for my hubby and not my hubby cooking for me. So I'm wishing you a great day, Michael, and thank you for popping in while it lasted. I guess I'm used to being the one cooking. Though in the very beginning, I remember when I were here on vacation, before I moved here, he actually did cook me breakfast a couple of times. He did. And hey, I totally forgot to mention, I have my favorite mug of tea here. And today it is the Pickwick Dutch Blend. Dutch Blend is a classic black tea, but it does have a little bit of orange peels in it. So I think personally it's nice. So let's see, we are getting closer. So meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out what's next. I am also having other ideas and plans in my head. Um, like I'd like a logo maybe. Um, that could be nice. Do do. Dinner is also planned for later today, so that's also a good thing. I like when things are planned out. Um, so, and then we'll have leftovers, which we'll have Friday. Um, I have a project which is I actually so the Dutch are weird. They do have their um, they have the freezer upstairs on the attic, unless they have a dedicated room, um, like a front kitchen ish, a raw kitchen, which we don't because simply our house is too small. So the freezer and my washing machine and my dryer, they're all on the attic, which I guess is just where its logic plays for it. Um, it and I've gotten used to it, but it was not what I found logic when I moved here. But yeah, I've gotten used to it. And the freezer I have in the attic is really needing a defrost. So I've decided as a part of my new budgeting is to actually empty the freezer one by one, slowly going through what is, and so I can get it defrosted. So it kind of like, I take a deep dive in the freezer and I'm like, okay, what's up for dinner based on what's in here. So this is actually pretty close to a full round. So let's see. This is currently how it looks. And I do centimeters and it is 8. And I do believe this one is 10 or so. Well, it's 9.5. So I might need to do one more row. But what we could do is we could test it. So what I can do is, sorry for any inconveniences here. You'll get a double face. I'm just gonna take off this for a minute and we'll test it. So if I sound a little bit far away, it's because it's just down there. But let's see if this sort of semi fits. And I'll take the threads on the front side to ensure that I don't get stuck. Ouch. Well, I think another row might be nice because I have a little bit free ear. So yeah, I'll do one more repeat. And I almost got caught in my earrings. Ta-ta! So that's what I'll do. I'll make one more repetition of this and then we can call it the day. At least for the headband. and then we'll have to find out what's gonna be next. So we are just popping down here again. We'll like that. And you can keep following. Let's see, we need to work that way. So it needs to be there. Just need to pay attention. Do, do, do. She's been sweet, my in-law, because she has been asking me what she has to pay for this. Because, you know, I purchased the yarn and all that stuff, but see, it's yarn I had in my stash. And I want to do stuff for her, and she does stuff for me. Like, you know, if she asks me if we want to go shop with her, then as nice as is, she always ends up, how can I say it? She pays for the lunch, right? And stuff like that. So I just basically told her if she felt bad for not paying me, she could pay for the lunch next time we went out shopping together. Because the thing is, she will do that regardless. So I think that's a fair trade. And this yarn wasn't super expensive. This is not like $100 skein of yarn. It's just a nice yarn, good value yarn. Recently I've made a hat from it. Works up nicely. It's also pretty nice to work with. There's a little bit of wool in it. And she wanted a brighter blue than the one I have here. She wanted a brighter blue than this. And this brand only has a few colors available here in the Netherlands, at least for where I've gotten it. So if I wanted to use this yarn, I would have had to probably import or something like that, which would have been running up far much higher. So I measured her head and decided to make like a raw draft on how many star stitches it would take. Measured, calculated, and here we are basically. The only thing I didn't know was how many repeats in the height. But which is really nice here is now I know. So if I want to make a similar headband in the future, I can do that, like, you know, with the same yarn. So it's I don't think it's wasted time. And I'll definitely have some leftover of this yarn, which either I could make another headband with, or a new hat, new beanie. Sometimes I'm also thinking this yarn could probably work up really nicely as a sweater or something like that. But again, I would need to buy some more skeins if I wanted to make a sweater of it, because I definitely don't have enough for that. It's the last blue skein I have. And then I have another skein in grey and 2 in white, and then that is done. I would need to buy more. But I'm sort of on a yarn buying ban, right? Well, not yarn buying ban, but I am trying to use up my stash and shop more from my stash, and yeah, consume yarn that I already have. Which reminds me, I also need to go, or call, I guess I could as well, to find out where our new post office is, because they moved our post office. Because the store that ran the post office no longer wants to do it. I guess it's just simply being too much work for what they get in return. So it's too much effort for the reward. Because apparently the stores only gets X amount of cash based on the package circulating through. So if I send a package, obviously the post company gets paid, but also the company that's helping them running the post office gets paid, and they get paid per package. And you need quite a bit of room to do that as well, but it's not like a lot of money, I've understood. So I'm a little bit curious because it looks like we might have got a new one, but I don't know for sure. It's not like confirmed. And I would definitely want to know where the post office is, because let's say that I wanted to sell some of my yarns or make a giveaway. Giveaway is definitely something that is in the future plans. Like, I said a while ago that once eventually that I hit 2K subs, I'm wanting to make a giveaway. But the thing is also, I also have a podiversary coming up, and the last 2 years for the podiversaries, I've done a giveaway. So I might actually consider giving away some yarn when I'm having my podiversary. And then, if I do that, I definitely need to know where to ship the yarn from. Like, it would be really inconvenient for me if we don't have a post office in the city anymore, because then I would have to drive to another city with parcels and so on. And since I don't have a car, I would then have to borrow a car to do so. Yeah. But we are slowly getting there. So this piece will definitely be finished today. So that's nice. This piece of ball of yarn will definitely not be finished today. Need to figure out what to do with the rest. If I want to make more headbands, or if I'm gonna be like, it's probably gonna become a beanie or something else. I have a pile of scraps with all of the sort of the same yarn here. So I have a bag where I put all these scraps in, and then I also have the opportunity of making a scrap hat, right? I did recently make some scraps, a scrap hat out of some other halflaying, and the thing is, I have more left of that variegated yarn, so I might actually make one more. I might make one more. Probably a little bit different design, but the fundamentals are there. Then, of course, I have some projects that I can give away. Which I might do. Donate them to a good purpose. There are always people in need. People in a much worse situation than you and I, so to say, right? To help them. 2, 4, 6. For those that's come in here later, I am working on a headband. It is the anemone headband, or it's based on the anemone headband design, which is a drops pattern. But to keep it simple, it's just a star stitch worked in the round. Nothing crazy. Yeah, using a different yarn, so I had to do some calculations as to how many stitches I needed and so on. But you know, once you have made a few of these, it's pretty simple to adapt to the need of the pattern. And when I'm sitting here making this in this yarn, I'm thinking this could be so gorgeous in a white. And I have one of the whites upstairs. So I might actually want to make them in white, because I think it could be really, really gorgeous in white. Do you think it could be gorgeous in white? Because it's stars, so it's almost a bit more like, because of the stars, it's a little bit almost like a snowflake feeling, maybe? I don't know. Not completely, but... And white matches a lot of things. So the reason that my mom-in-law chose this blue is because she has a very, very bright blue jacket that she wants to go with it. Which makes good sense too. So I can give this one to her this week. Da, da, da. So I don't have any crazy plans this weekend. So my plan, so tomorrow I have the meeting with the guy from the unemployment agency to see if I have any hidden talents. Then I need to do some recording. Also tomorrow, hopefully, if everything goes well. Tomorrow evening, I hope to go live to be with you guys here on the channel. Then Friday morning, it's time to go look for an apartment with my mom-in-law, because she has a new apartment offer. And we can go look at that Friday morning. So that is what I'm going to do with her. I have to say, it's smaller than the other apartments, so I don't know if she will find herself well here, because maybe it's on the smaller end. We will have to see. The thing is, it's a bottom floor, easy accessible and so on, and it's very close to the city center as well. So we are gonna have a look at that. It would be nice if it works out for her. I am trying to be optimistic on that aspect. But as I told her, she's second on the list on this one as well. So if she doesn't get it, then it's because number one wanted. That is, if she wants it. And if not, then the apartment, the perfect apartment for her, will be there when time is right. Right? So it's just not meant to be. And no need to stress about it, because she's fit enough to live where she lives now. It's just more a convenient thing and a preparation for when she does get older, because it's not getting easier, right? As we get older, life doesn't get easier. Even I feel that, like, I can feel my body is way more stiff than it used to be, like just even 10 years ago. I'm definitely not as fit as I were 10 years ago. I wish, though. I wish. Would I have done different things differently? Maybe. Some things I might have done differently. But in that case, I'd rather go like 12 years back in time to do a few things differently. But don't we all have this? Like, there's always something we wouldn't mind doing differently if we could. Hello, Dawn. Good morning, all the way over from the West Coast. Assuming, at least, that you're still all the way over there. Happy New Year! Happy New Year. Oh, yeah, you're having ads, so I'm not pretty sure if you reached to hear everything I said. Probably not. It's, the ads when you open the feed or open the live for the first time. But hey, Dawn. Absolutely wonderful to see you and have you with us. I hope you're doing well today. I know you've had a really rough period of time, so I really hope that you're starting to feel a bit better. So, hugs from me to you. I am working on a headband, just adding the last round of star stitches, and then it's done. And I have a gift for my mom-in-law. Well, she knows she's getting it, so it's not like a surprise gift. I'm very happy to see you too. I'd said a bit earlier in this stream, I want to make more of like a routine schedule for my lives, actually, if I can. I should be better at doing that. You're crocheting baby dresses. Sweet. For someone you know? Or are you sharing secrets? Like, and absolutely Happy New Year's. 2024 was a year of mixed events. Good things happened in 2024 and some lesser good things happened in 2024. I'm definitely ready for a better 2025. But baby dresses, nice. I have yarn that I could easily make a baby dress with, I think. I just wouldn't know who to receive it. Oh, sweet. So Dawn says that her niece is due in 3 months with a girl. Oh, but that's nice. I love when you can make things that also generally like who the receiver will be. I did that with like a long time ago at the very beginning of this channel, far before I met half of you guys, I guess. I made a crochet blanket in the Dutch colors, like they were blue, white, red, or red, white, blue, depending on how you look at it. And I finished it, and I didn't know what to use the baby blanket for, except for I was like, well, I'll probably know somebody here in the Netherlands eventually who will be pregnant, and I can gift it. And then, like a year later, a friend was due, and she's been doing lots of sports here in the Netherlands. So, like, she's been competing with the national team. So it was a perfect gift. And I met her this year. I just need to think for a minute because I need to turn that way around. Yeah, that's how it is. And she told me that she was actually still using the blanket, and their daughter is now 11, no, she's more, 14 months, 15 months. But they were still using the blanket, and she was really happy with it. So, that felt really nice because I've been able to gift things that is still being used, right? Oh, Trubu from Lion Brands in the color rose to match the mandala baby yarn cake in Narnia. I want to have, like, I'm eyeballing, believe it or not, I'm eyeballing Lion Brand's website because I'm like, I want eventually one day to make an order. But the thing is, and that's one of the things that's holding me back. Oh, okay, let's correct. There are two things holding me back right now. One, I really need to decrease my stash. I really need to decrease my stash. I don't really have room. And if I do make an order, I would have to make a decent size order for it to be worth it. Because, secondly, what's keeping me back is it's high shipping costs. And next to the high shipping costs, I have to pay import tax from Lion Brand. Yes, a whopping 21% import tax. So. Oh, you're still up. Then you have been awake for quite a bit. Right now, Lion Brands have get up to 50% off yarns and kits. No code necessary. Offer ends in 22 hours. Well, that's not happening, I guess, in my case. But I do want to get Lion Brands eventually at some stage. I do have some yarns that I think would probably be the same as the mandalas. They're mandala yarns. But except that, I don't really have any. Or maybe also the mandala string. I have some because I think that's the same as the Papatia Sunday. Which is also a reason for me wanting actually to make a Lion Brand order, because try imagine I could make some yarn comparisons between these yarns. That would be cool. But I'm trying to. Yes, I need to shop my stash in 2025. I need to do that very much so. I very much need to do that. Doesn't mean that I can't dream, right? I do dream a little bit about yarn purchases. There are bets going on as to how much stash I can shop down. Yes, my goal is also to shop my stash for majority of the time, but I may eventually cave in. Everything depends. Everything depends on how things go. Because I have more than enough yarn to not need to buy any yarn for the rest of my life, probably. I'm still pretty impressive with the fact that I used more than 15 kilometers of yarn in 2024, like 16,000 plus yards. At the same time, I know there are people out there using way more than I am. And given the fact that I now have two projects that I had to frog back, one of them laying right here next to me. I haven't started the frogging process yet, but I probably should. Um, that that slows down the yarn consumption, right? That really slows it down. On the other hand, I need to make more of these because this goes quick and fast, because it's like this is worked with a 9mm hook. Like, yarn disappears so quickly. And this is like a 6mm, just to compare it. And I'm pretty happy with this. That's not the thing, but yeah, I really need to use more of my stash. And I have a few projects where I can easily do that, right? Like the drops projects that I'm lining up is all yarns that I bought. Some of the yarns I even bought in 2023. But the point is that the yarns are in my stash. So most of it I can do without needing to go shop for new. It all kind of depends, right? But the first thing I probably should do at some stage is really to investigate the post office situation. Because I do have a few extra things, and I could theoretically probably sell off some makes. But before doing that, I would need to see where the post office is. Plus, I do have a bit of yarn in my stash that I have been considering selling because I don't know what to use it for. Some of it I got in lucky bags. So there's that. And it has a financial benefit, of course. If we can use all our yarns, shop our own stashes, we don't have to buy yarn. Try imagine all the money we save and still keep us entertained crocheting. I like that idea too. We are definitely a little bit in a consumer era. People buy a new phone just because a new model is released every year. But the real question is, do you need a new phone just because they release new model? In that aspect, I'm definitely less of a consumer because I tend to use my phone until they wear out. Like when they come to a stage where they need a battery change, I don't change the battery, I just buy a new phone. But that's usually like 4 years later. I've also have a few websites that I've bookmarked the links for them because they make some amazing cakes. Some of them like really unique cakes, and I'm like, yes, please. But I have so many cakes in my stash actually as is, so I don't really need to buy any. But if I sold a shawl or two, I could buy some new cakes with the money made. Me like that idea. But yeah, so my phone basically is being used for as long as it can. That goes for many things, right? Like even my laptop, which you can kind of see the feed of here. But my laptop here is also a good friend of mine. We are about 4 years old, so I probably need to consider slowly. It's still doing good, but I do need to prepare mentally for needing a new one. The good thing is, in the past, I've done lots of work on my laptop, and my laptop I still use work related for one of my companies, so that I can do tax deductible. So yeah. Dawn also uses a phone for as long as possible. She just came from the video from back her day. She will not. You will not. You will try your best not to be tempted. Yes. Well, that's a challenge, right? Because subconsciously she is trying to enable us. I used to have an iPhone 11 Pro, but it started doing funky. Like I experienced last spring a couple of times where it said it was fully charged, and then when I looked at the amount of battery it had like 67%, which in my optics is not fully charged. That's like 2/3. And it did a few times, and then it was acting normally again, and then it acted up again. And I'm like, I just can't mentally. So it's time to get a battery when it starts doing like that. And I have things sometimes where I really need to be available to be contacted. And when I can't have a few calls during a day without it being almost depleted from power, then it's time to get a new one. Hallelujah, we finished. I have the feeling it's slightly wider, but it's only maybe a few millimeters. So I can cut and sew in ends. I won't jinx you, not intentional. But the fact is that we do tend to, yeah, an iPhone 11 is like 5 years old. So if it's still doing well, I think you're reasonably lucky. Yes, well, that was actually an issue I had too. I had to more often than not go through my memory and delete photos and video. But I don't always have access to a charger, especially when I'm not home. That's my issue. And the phone I had before my iPhone 11 was an iPhone 6S. And that stopped working after 2 hours, basically. So unless it was constantly plugged in, it was not good. And as I said, I do have a small company, and when I just need to look at this. And when I make money, sounds a bit funky when I say that, but when I have to accept payments, then I need to use my phone to run my. It's like Square or what is it called? Like I have a sum up, iSettle, Square ish point of sale, POS, mini POS. And that just basically needs you to have access to the internet and an app on your phone. But if your phone is not, like, if your phone is out of power, how will you be able to do that then, right? Let's see, this is the outside, so I need to flip that around. Then I don't want to do that here. I want to do that on the inside, obviously. Da, da, da. Because we are weaving in ends, my friends. Weaving in ends. Yeah, so yeah, basically I just had to eventually get that done. And well, the other one kind of had similar issues. So that usually happens after like 4.5, 5 years. And then that's when I get a new phone. So I guess my next phone will be the iPhone 20 because I got an iPhone 15 this autumn. Because I decided that now was the time. Plus, the benefit actually was I was able to change my subscription. So I now get double as much and I pay like €6 less in subscription. What's not to like? So I decreased my expenses and I got a new phone. Well, that was expensive. But that was an investment, being like, now I have money and the next one will first be in a couple of years. So I'll do this. And because I knew I had storage issues, I actually decided on getting one with a slight bit more memory, so I would not experience storage issues as quickly again. So yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. Da, da, da. That was one. One more yarn scrap for my scrap pile. I'm trying to right now I'm just collecting the scraps, and I'll probably use it as a filling for like a small amigurumi or something like that. I do have some chenille yarns laying around that I want to do. I want to make something with, like a small turtle or something like that, and those I can use for donations if I want to. Now we need to first and foremost get this on the back side. Then we need to see if we can close this gap a little bit. That would be nice. We could. Nice. So far, I'm pleased. Do you save all your yarn scraps, or do you just throw them out? Like, do you save them for a purpose, or do you dump them in the garbage? Let me know. I have the idea of saving them, and then I can use them as filling for amigurumi. Not that I make a lot of amigurumi, but I have the idea it's better for the nature, the world, and all that stuff, because we can then reuse everything to as much as possible, because it's better, I guess. And sometimes you just need a little strap of yarn to tie something together, and you don't need to break open a whole skein. You save your scraps too. Cool. Do you have plans for your scraps, or is it just because it's fun to see a pile of scraps? Like, do you have ideas as what you want to do with your scraps? Ah, yeah. Similar. The first project I made was, though, with full scrap. It worked out okay. But I could definitely do that too. Which is probably what I'm gonna do with the next. Let's see. Oh my goodness! Look at this! I'm just gonna see what I'm actually doing. But hey, this is nice. I'm happy. I'm pretty pleased. Have a finished headband. Here we have 5 rows, and here's only 3, just to compare. Another difference is obviously the crochet hook. This is a 9mm hook. This is a 6mm hook. So yarn difference. I think this could maybe have worked up nicer in a 6.5. It had been a little bit more loose. It's not like it's stiff or too dense, but I have this feeling that maybe a 6.5 had made it just slightly ever so nicer somehow. Because I do like here it's a little bit more loose defined stitches compared to where these are slightly bit more tighter. But it's not bad. I'm not discontent. The real question is, how much yarn did I use? Probably like half, maybe. Does feel like this ball is a bit heavier than this. I'll have to wait. I'll have to weigh it. But obviously, for my consuming my stash, this can't count as a full skein because I have definitely more than half left. So I have to put it into my. We still need to figure out something with this, but I'm really pleased with this one. Hallelujah. We finished. something. We are still a bit here. Hello, Sarah. Hello, good morning. I'm sorry to hear you're very tired. Hope that you will feel a bit more fit later. I was really tired yesterday. Like, really tired. Good, solid tired. Yeah, I think it's a good ear warmer. And there is 20% wool in it, which kind of helps on it. Here's the label for those curious. The Julia from Seaman. It's 3.5 ounce gains to 170 meters, so that's like 185, 90-ish yards. But yeah, 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So this label goes with this because it's not used up yet. So I'm obviously not allowed to count it towards the used ones. But I used some of it, so I guess that counts. But yeah, one project finished. Now we need to figure out what next. And that is indeed a good question. What next? What next? Hibernation season. Yes, hibernation season. I used to like winters for the sole purpose of the fact it being competition season. Now I just dislike winter in general because it's cold. I'm just like, I need to live in a warmer country. Okay, so we have a few options. The first option is my little project back here, which is ta-ta, which is this. It's an off-white. This is a Scheepjes linen soft. And I am working on a summer bag, beach bag, in this diamond-alike pattern. This is really simple. It's filet crochet. So this is basically double crochets and chains, and a single slip stitch here and there. I do stack double crochets at the beginning of the round. So that is option 1. I need to repeat this 3 times, and given the fact that I just started on the second repeat, there is quite a bit of work in this to go. So that is option 1. I'm just gonna put this one away. Then option 2 is my project crate here with the Ceylon T-shawl. And that, my friends, sucks a bit because I need to frog it. Let me explain why. As I said, I finished so many rounds already. Ta-ta! Which looks really awesome and gorgeous. But let's see if I can actually find it. Here. Right here. I miss a chain 2. You can see it if I kind of open it up a bit. There is missing a chain 2, which is everywhere else where it's supposed to be, except right there. And I'm the full repeat later, which is roughly 20 rows. So if we start on this, the first thing I have to do is frog the whole thing. And, well, wind it up on the cake, I guess. But yeah, and yeah, it really sucks. Normally, I really check every row if it's perfect. And I must have been too consumed by the series I was watching that I did not check this, but it's really annoying me. And a part of me was like, yeah, I can work it up. It's going to be fine. And now a part of me is being like, no, you have to frog it. So that's probably what I'm going to do. The good thing is I learned kind of how this works and everything went fine and I didn't have big issues. But I was really thinking last night and I was working like the last half side, which was luckily easy because like chain 5, double crochet, chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, double crochet, etc. So it was easy. But that last half bit, I was like thinking. In the beginning, I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And at the very end, I was like, no, it's not going to be fine. I have to frog it. So that's basically what I have to do. I have to frog this if we work on this. This, on the other hand, is just straight go, get to go. For this 3.25 millimeter crochet hook, and here I use a 3.75. I have a 4mm hook with my mosaic blanket, but that just takes up a bit more space. So I'd actually prefer if we could pick either or. If we go for this, we go straight into crocheting. If we go for this, we go straight into frogging. Yeah, let me know. What should we do? We have like another small hour. Frog and continue. Just crochet mindless. And it's easy, actually. This is easy. So are we frogging or are we crocheting? What we could do is I could put up a poll. Yeah, Dawn says we need to frog. It is nice, gorgeous cake, by the way, for those curious. The Linda Hobby soft cake. And we chose that a couple of weeks ago during a live for this project. Yes, it's going to be a frocking then. It is a soft cake from Linda Hobby, which is, this is 50% acrylic, 50% cotton, 250 grams, so 8.8 ounces to 1,000 meters, so 1,093 yards. And see, I'm almost into the, getting closer to the yellows, except now we need to frog. So it's very shiny. A bit of it is the light, I think. I can see if I can turn this down a bit. That would probably be more accurate for the light. Still shiny. I think that's acrylic. And it actually does have a shine when you look at it. It does have a little shine. It's nice. But as I said, we have to frog it. So I guess that's the road we go. So I am going to put this away to my project bag laying over there so I don't lose it. And for crying out loud, I am really sad. I am really, really sad. Right there. Right there. You can see here's the gap, but there's no gap on this side. Crickets. I don't want to know how many hours of this work is, but I do know that I know the problem is there. So, yeah. For crying out loud. And one thing is to frog once in a while, but this is not just a bit frogging back. It's like 20 plus rows. Like, this is why I'm crying. It's not so much that I have to frog it. It's the amount I have to frog. It's easy to frog though. The challenge with this yarn is that it is a 4-strand yarn, and when I work with it, I really need to pay attention to get all 4 strands picked up. Like if I compare it to Hobby's Cotton Kings, that somehow frogs easier for me. So that's a thing. All the yarn I need to wind up here, but will do. Will do. Would have been better if I had my yarn winder here, maybe. Please don't. Well, yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I could also just. The problem is I know, and right now it's not super visible, but once this gets blocked, you will see it, right? Like, ugh, I'm not happy. I'm not happy, but it's the reality. And else I'll just postpone, 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 postpone. Well, I've been postponing other projects too, but yeah, here we go. Yeah. I'm You're going back to whatever I choose, but I've started frocking. That's the thing. I've already started frocking, so now it's kind of too late. I'm frocking. Damn, I'm annoyed. Yeah, it's painful. It's painful. That's kind of why I wanted to maybe work on the other project, because this, my friends, is a painful recording to see me frock all this beautiful work. Oh man. But I'm probably gonna do it though. Frock back. I sort of semi made the decision before that I would have to. Simply because. What do you learn from this? Well, double check before you start the next row that everything is how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Yes, my friends, that is what you learn. But I was watching this series, and I guess it must have been exciting since I didn't triple check it. Hey, oddballs. Well, I'm frocking because there's some mistake very far back, like 20 rows back. And I'm a perfectionist, which is, yeah, that's due to past life things as well. So here, right there, I miss a chain too. I'm missing a chain too. So yeah, I'm frocking because, well, ugh, I'm missing a chain too, 20 rows back. And right now it's not super visible, but once I block it, and it will look best when blocked, it will be visible. At least for the more advanced crocheters' eyes. Yeah. Yeah. So now I need to watch out that I don't get this tangled up as well. Huh? That would be really bad. Then I would start crying. If I tangle up the yarn during frocking for something that I could have said, okay, so please know when I say this, I'm not by any means religious. I do respect religion, but I know that the Amish people say that only God makes things perfect, so imperfections are okay. But as a perfectionist, and I know I can fix it, I do this. But it's probably a few hours of work, which is what annoys me the most. I remember when I made the leafy shawl tutorial, I lost 2 hours of work on the edge because I found a mistake, like far back. Oh, the Moroccan mint. I haven't done that one yet, but I do want to at some stage. I decided for the Ceylon tea shawl with this one because I think this is sort of minty, not minty. Sorry, it's sort of tea-alike, Ceylon tea, because when we get if we buy tea in the Netherlands, like from Pickwick or other brands, the Ceylon tea somehow is always pictured with purple. So gray is tea, it's like an Earl Grey, and then yellow, and it's a little bit, it's not as bright as it seems here. That's a light thing. It's a little bit more normal yellow. It seems much more logic. But yeah, this is painful, obviously. So what happened? Well, my friends, on Friday's Yarn Talk video, we can talk about how it is to frock. my. 20 rows back. Well, I don't know if it's 21 rows or something like that, but it's around 20 rows. Crying is not going to help me, but I do feel like crying. And I only do it because I know it will be visible. Well, maybe not to the beginner, but if you know a bit about crocheting, yes, it's visible. I can't watch this either, but I am watching this happening. I could use an electric yarn winder for this, my friends. Would it go quicker unraveling with an electric yarn winder? Oh, no. Yeah, so I really need to make sure that I do not tangle it up too badly, because that would be really, really horrible. Crickets. I'm really not happy. Oh. Oh, yeah. If it didn't stop every few inches, yeah, true. I learned how the pattern is, so I guess there's that. But damn it. Well, I guess I'm not the only one frocking. I'm sure. So the thing is, this shows that I'm human, right? Like, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, my friends. Not happy about it, but I do make mistakes from time to time. There was another full row ripped up. Oh my goodness, I need to take care of this frocking. I think I pulled off too much yarn this time around. La la la. Almost need a breather for this. That's wonderful thoughts. Dawn says it shows how much we love the yarn. We want the best for the yarn. Oddball says she frocked an entire shawl yesterday because she used a hook that was too small. Oh, that's painful too. Like a full shawl. Like, had you gotten far to the finish? Because this is technically like a quarter of a shawl, roughly. Maybe a bit less. But yeah, this is painful-ish to do. I will admit. I will admit. I'm not happy about needing to do this. Oh my goodness, I need to take care here. Because else I'll get a knot in it, and that will be not good. Wasn't this bound to happen sooner or later? Yes, it was, my friends. There we are. Oh goodness, it only needed blocking. Oh no. Well, then I'm kind of happy it's not this bad. Right? It's not a full shawl, at least. It's just 20 rows, which is still painful. Because I had made nice progress on it. I was pretty pleased, actually, with the progress made. Well, too bad for me. I can get to do it again. Oh, man. Dawn says she's shrugged over 40 hours of work before because she had a mistake. Oh, okay. This is not 40 hours of work. I'd assume maybe a full shawl is like 40 hours of work. Maybe. Thank you. I guess I feel better now. It's not that bad. And Dawn also has another hat collector's shawl that she could frog back about 60 hours, but haven't been able to do it yet. I have two plans. Like I have plans to make two different hat collector shawls. I just haven't started yet because, yeah, that's for the spring. Haha. Next projects. Angela says that that my granddad had once asked if you frog the work if she thought that the yarn would get longer. No, I'm afraid not. But I guess you can say the benefit of frogging, regardless of why, is that you do get the pleasure of enjoying the yarn once more. So as long as it's not a yarn that you utterly hate to work with, frogging is, I guess, giving you more pleasure. Think about that. Think about that. I like that one. Hello, Heather Daly. Wonderful to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for your compliment. As given that you just joined this live, I am going to tell you why I'm frogging because I'm not sure if you caught that, but right here, I'm missing a chain too. And it sucks. And I'm actually unsure if I work that row that way or that way. But I kind of hope I work that way because then it's towards the end. Then I need to frog a little bit less. But I'm not sure. We'll find out when I get there. Hello, Maritza. Maritza, Yarn and Crafts is also in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Here in the Netherlands, it is now 4:13 p.m. Central European Time. And I'm definitely here for another half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, kind of depends on things. Before then, I should definitely be finished frogging this. Cried a few times in between. But we're getting there. As said, the benefit is definitely that I now know how to work this shawl. Like, I've done it once, and so what I really like about the Ceylon tea shawl is there are no bubble stitches. No bubble stitches. Or puff stitches. It is the Ceylon tea shawl. It's the Ceylon tea shawl by Red Teapot Atelier. Actually, if you give me just a minute, I can share the pattern in the description box down below. I just need to find it, so give me just a moment. She has them on Ravelry, and you can also get them from Hobby. If you do have a Hobby Plus subscription, then you can download it for free from Hobby, which is how I basically got it. Let's see where we are, because I need to find my description thingy. Moroccan mint is full of puff stitches. Yeah, well, I guess that's the reason that I'm happy right now that I chose the Ceylon tea shawl to make mistakes in. I've done the jasmine tea shawl that is also, to some extent, a puff stitch. Oh, that's plenty of puff stitches too. The dye-yielding tea shawl also have puff stitches, but less. It has less, let's see, lives. And I'm currently live here. That is very true. Description. And we share the pattern to the Ceylon tea shawl. And we press save. It's thinking. Now the description box should contain, you might need to reload the live if it's not updated for you. And in that event, you might risk an ad. But I did link to the pattern down below. Hello, Jay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, this sucks. But as I said, I'm happy that now when I do have to frog it, it's not something with a bunch of puff stitches, because while I like how puff stitches look, I really don't like making them. Maritza Johnson Craft says it's 10:15 in Pennsylvania. Artballs is asking if I'm interested in doing a yarn swap, leaving from travels on Saturday. Oh, you were traveling through the Netherlands, weren't you? The problem is just I'm not anywhere close to Amsterdam. Like, it's an hour and a half drive. It's gonna be longer with train, so it's not like convenient. Oh yeah, sorry, 10:15 a.m. It's because it's PM here, so I'm getting all like, Mexico, good man. Oh, lovely. Right. Then there's another one that was going. There was one that mentioned they were going to Europe at some stage. Mexico and Guatemala. Sweet. But I'll probably be open for yarn swaps at some stage. Definitely. The downside is just everything coming outside of the EU, I have to pay import tax on, which totally sucks. You can work them up with cakes, but also just if you have like regular colored yarn, you could technically also do solid colors. This is just 1,000-meter cake, so 1,093 yards. So if you have like 1,000 yards ish or 1,100 yard ish cake, you would probably be pretty fine. Like if I were to ship a 4-pound crate to the US, it's like 26 euros. And if I let double it, it would be like 50-ish, 54. Are there any gorgeous special yarns in Canada? I'm though curious to know. Like, do you have any special yarns? Holy crap. 100 Canadian, I assume? That's a lot of money still. Oh, goodness. We are getting closer, but this still feels painful. The cake doesn't look that nice anymore because I've just turned it around on the outside, but you know, that's the easiest way of doing it. A part of me wanted to try hand dye yarn, but I don't really have the room for it to dry and all that stuff. So I don't really have the best circumstances for that. Instead, what I've been considering is homemade buttons, like for clothing. Make my own buttons. Especially because I have a project where I'm not sure if I can find the right ones. And with the homemade ones, I can like put my own touch to it. So that's something that I'm considering. A one-weight yarn. Do you have a brand of it, or because it kind of depends also on the pattern that you're working on. This is probably, I don't know if this is a 1 or a 2 weight. If they actually have written that down somewhere. Would be nice if they did, but they didn't. I would say this is probably a bit like, it's in between, because this is thinner than Hobby's Sultan. Probably, maybe. I use a 3.25 millimeter, so a D hook for this yarn, if that's of any help. I would say swatch it. So don't work up a bunch, but swatch it. Usually, if you like the drape in a double crochet, then it's usually also pretty okay for the rest of the shawl. And then do like a 10 by 10 or something like that. Yeah, so I would definitely just, yeah, Nightbuds is sharing all sorts of stuffs. But Jay, I would basically just test it out. If it's a thin, like if it's really like a one weight, try somewhere between 3 and 3.5 millimeter. And if it's a bit thicker, one weight, you could hook up a bit. Because like I would say, if you consider the yarns like Yarn Arts Rose Garden or Hobby's Sultan Deluxe, that would probably be like 3.5 millimeter hooks for those, for a nice drape. So I don't know if that gives you any indication. And I picked the 3.25 for this because I made the dye yielding t-shawl in the same hook size, and that worked up really gorgeous. So that was kind of my logic reasoning for it. Now I'm 2 color changes back, so probably like a 200 meters frogged off. For crying out loud! And oh my goodness. I cannot watch this either. It's rather painful, but look, we're almost there. It's not that far. It's not that far to go anymore. Yeah, that's basically what I would do. Swatch it up, and don't make a huge swatch. Just 10 or 20 by 10 or something like that. It usually gives this nice indications. This one says 24 stitches by 32 rows gives 10 by 10, which is probably knitting, but and also not all yarns necessarily match, because this one suggests me a 2 to 3 millimeter crochet hook. I'm not even sure if it's readable on this camera, but no, it's not, because I can't make it zoom. But it says 2 to 3 millimeter there. Hey, there it was. 2 to 3 millimeter crochet hook. And I am using a 3.25. A part of this is also due to that I know my tension is slightly tighter than the average, right? Like my tension is the same, but it is slightly tighter than the average. And therefore, often it makes sense for me to up the hook size a bit compared to going down. Unless, of course, you have a Stanley cake, because those hook sizes, they are usually off. Like they don't make sense. But for this one, it says that I should use a smaller hook size, but that's not working for me. So yeah, it's not always. How did this happen? I have a little knot, just a moment. I don't want that. So, you know what I'm most happy about so far? And let's not try to jinx it, but so far, no big knots. Like, I didn't tangle the yarn, so I need to like scrap it all, because then I had been very allowed to cry, right? I would definitely have been allowed to cry, and that's if that was the case. Oh. And yeah, it's about what you like with drape and laciness. The more drape or the more laciness, the bigger hook size. Definitely. That's also why, for example, if you do amigurumis, you size down more than required or expected, because there you want the stitches to be really close and dense so that the stuffing doesn't peek out. And very valid. The hook on the ball band is just recommendation. It's what the company or the factory suggestion, but not necessarily what will be the optimal for your project. We are getting closer. I've almost spent half an hour frogging right now. It's kind of sad. Yeah, okay, so 3.5 might actually be good if you want it a little bit more lacy. Or if you have a tighter tension. For crying out loud. The amount of hours of work here. My in-laws would have told me, nah, don't frog it. It's fine. Some of you even said it was fine. But it's this knowledge, right? I know the issue is there. Could also be like, I will have to be honest, had I first noticed this on the last row, I had just finished and I said, fuck it. That's too much work. Now when I'm doing this, I feel a little bit like maybe I should have said, but it's too late now. And I'm not gonna stop here when I'm this close. Like, then I'm just gonna finish it up. Finish up the frogging. Except accept the fact that I made a mistake. And I'm getting really good at winding round and around and around and around. Thank you, Dawn. Well, I think the issue was probably also partially that before this started, I had subconsciously decided I will frog this. I had already sort of decided that a frogging was required. So, yeah. I guess in that sense, I'm okay with it because subconsciously I knew it was already going to happen. But I was debating for at least half an hour what I should do, like last night when I realized. Susan says she would have frogged as well, though she loves that knitting corrections doesn't require. She loves that knitting correction doesn't require us to frog hours and hours of work. Yeah. I guess it kind of depends on what sort of knitting corrections. I don't know. I'm not an avid enough knitter to actually know. No, I'm not. I can do knit and purl, so I can do a rib knit. At least I once could. I might be able to if I just sit down and attempt to it. But yeah. Constant. I think it's also a bit of a question what we would feel towards the end of the project. And in my case, because I know it will be visible. Now I almost made a knot on it again. Because I know it will be visible when it's blocked. I think it's better to just accept defeat. If that makes sense. So I'm accepting defeat. I'm accepting I wasn't good enough at checking my stuff. We are almost there. A few more rows. The good thing is the growth here in the beginning now will go really, really quick. Hallelujah. And maybe it wouldn't be super visible, I don't know. But I know that if it would have been visible after the frogging, I would really be annoyed with myself. And then because I'm closer to the start than I'm towards the end, yeah, it just makes sense to frog it. But it's painful. I get that. Yeah, it's painful for me too, my friends. Oh my goodness. I have good news. This is where the mistake is. This is where the mistake is. Sorry for not being able to watch that, but here's the mistake. And that's towards the end of the row. Hallelujah. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Ta-ta. Hallelujah. Ha! I didn't have to frog back this piece. We have to look about something good, right? That's good. That's good. That was really nice. I'm not so happy about all the frogging though, but I'm really happy about this. And yes, lesson learned. Check my rows, triple check my rows. Well, it's the first time I'm working on this pattern, so I guess that doesn't help either. But yay! We are frog back. We can start over again. I just need to find the pattern. It should be somewhere. was too quick. Open my document. What row is this? So this one I've already done, so it's probably the following, if I see this correct. Row 9. Phew. Yeah, dang it. Dang it. But, my friends, I'm definitely not gonna recover this for Friday's Yarn Talk video, but it's pretty recovered. So let's see if we can. 1, 2. My missing chain 2. Hallelujah. Oddballs, how long are you gonna be gone? It's like 2 months or so? And then I need to double crochet, double crochet, double crochet right there. 6 weeks, so a month and a half. That still sounds nice though. A bit warmer as well. I'm all like funky in my arm now after all this winding. Yeah, so we need to do 2 doubles, chain 2 doubles in the center here. So that was 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And then we can say almost that this row has been recovered. But goodness, that was not amongst the most fun things to do. I can tell you that. That was a really, really sad thing to do, actually. Ta-ta. No. That's too close. Isn't it? Oh, it's done there. Ah, no, it was good. Oh, Jesus. I think I'm still in a fucking mess. Oh, yeah. Just about anything beats the weather we have been having here. Well, yeah, Canada sounds cold. Yes, it should complete the pattern because I had completed 1 repeat of the pattern when I started frocking. I know. And it should be able to repeat like 3 times with a cake like this, which is also pretty much what you see. So negative 22. That's not nice at all. I need to do a front post half double crochet around the post down here, which is this one. Well, not much room, but we'll do that. And then I need to chain 2, and we'll look at the last. Let's see. There I need to do 2, so I need to work in half double crochets here. I have to say the only challenge I have with this pattern is, and this yarn is a little bit, it's a little bit small stitches right now, but you know, it works up really nice when I'm done. So it's I'm happy to do so. I'm using a 3.25mm hook, so a D hook for, I think, US terms. When I did the dye yielding T-shawl in the spring, I used the same hook, and that worked out really nice. So that's kind of why I'm confident that it will work out nice here too. So, guess what? Row 9 is complete. We can look at row 10. Row 10 is a quickie because that's a half double crochet. And to do that, we chain 2 to replace a half double crochet as a start. So we'll start by that. Then I need to work in 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So 1, 2 singles. And then we need to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need to do a double crochet in the half double crochet, front post double crochet from the last row. Like that. Or I could do them there. I'm not sure what would be more correct, to be honest. Maybe the bottom one. Yeah, that looks nicer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a single crochet up in the chain 2 space. Susan says attention tends to be on the loose side and you're fearful of running out of yarn. So the thing is with this pattern is even though you do the repetitions, you can technically stop sooner or later depending on what you want. How much yarn do you have? Like, what yarn would you want to use for it? But what I do like about the pattern is the fact that you can technically like stop earlier during the repetition. It just depends on how you want it to end. If you want a straight edge or if you want the pointy ends or how you want it to end. Oh, that's also a great idea. Adbol says, Susan, when you do happen when you happen to run out of yarn, you can always do an edge in black. So always make sure to have a few balls of solid black. And I think that's a great suggestion too. The dye yielding T-shawl, I still had a little bit yarn left over. So that's just in my scrap pile. So should I ever make a different shawl in a similar yarn, I can easily do so. Yeah. Now we are towards the center. I need to just quickly check what it's saying here. The last 2 stitches we need to single crochet before the center. That would be here. Another single crochet in the following stitch. Then I need to work in 2 single crochets, chain 2 single crochets in the center. So 1, 2 singles, chain 2, and 2 more singles. And then we need to do 2 single crochets in the following 2 stitches. Like that. Then we do chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I just can't catch my stitch. There we are. Then we double crochet, we chain 5 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, yeah. And we do single crochet, 1, 2, 4, 5. That is the main benefit of being frog bad, I guess, is that here in the beginning, it's working up quicker. You have also from Linda Hobby, soft cake and floral cakes. I have some floral cakes from a recent haul too. I really like working with this yarn, to be honest. It's really enjoyable. It's not so enjoyable when I make mistakes, but that's nothing to do with the yarn. And it frogs easy if you need to frog. I guess that's a win. Oddballs just finished row 19 on the Moroccan Mint. It was 71 puff stitches. Oh my jeepers. That. Yeah, so finishing puff stitches, doing puff stitches, it's just not fun. I like the result of it. Like, I like the look of them, but I don't want to do them. Jasmine T-shawls also had quite a few on some rows. So that was this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then how was it? Is it just in the very last stitch? Yeah, the very last stitch I need to do 2 singles and a half double. 1, 2 and a half double. Like that. Awesome. Oh, wrong side. One more row done. I need to sew in this end, but I tend to wait. Why do I have this feeling that it's looking funky? It shouldn't be. Because it's only 4 chains. Ha! See, now it's good I check. We frog back because I only did 4 chains up here. So let's just redo. I need to do 5 chains. That is why it looks odd. 2, 3, 4, 5. Shame on me. The rest I can remember. And it was very little frogging. I'm proud. I'm proud. Very little frogging. Very little frogging. Yes, coffee definitely deserved after this one. Absolutely. I'm probably just gonna finish the row and wrap it up because I need to prep for dinner and stuff. It's like 4:48 p.m. here in Europe. And at 5 is usually when I start slowly preparing for making dinner. So it will be ready when Hubs get home from work. Because if it's not, he will be looking at me being like, but you're home all day. Why isn't the food ready? Which is fair enough. it's definitely fair enough because it's valid. Yeah, I need to find out what to do. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do a double crochet down here. We chain 5, 5, and work on some singles. Yeah, one more row, exactly. One more row would be nice. Maybe I can reach one more row. I'm not sure. We'll see. Next row is like row 4, which is like a bunch of double crochet, so that should theoretically be simple. Oh, it was a half double, like that. Let's see. Same as row 4. 1 treble and 45 double crochets per side plus 2 in the middle. Yeah. So basically we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Need to make sure it doesn't split on me. And we do 2 double crochets in the same stitch because I'm quite sure that was the start. I'm just double checking because I would really hate for that not to be the case. Yeah, 2 double crochets into the first stitch. And from here it's just 1 double crochet each stitch. So that's 1. 2. Then for each of these chain 5, I will have to work in 5 double crochets. Plus on the top of these, I'll have to work in a single. So now I need to count. But I don't think I can reach to finish this one. That's me being honest about life. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spread it a bit out on the chain would be nice. So, yeah, there are 5. And then a double in that double crochet from the previous row. Then 5 more doubles around the chain. Oops. That almost turned into a half double rather than a double. That's the only thing about this yarn. If I don't keep focus, it does want to split a bit. So I need to be attention. 2, 4, 5, and then we have a single crochet up here where I need to insert a stitch. Yep, and we could do another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep, there are 5. I need to work in a double in the previous double. And we can work in new 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. If there are any new watchers, welcome to the live. Nice to see you, even though you might not have said hello in chat. I do want to see if I can maybe come online tomorrow evening, my time, so that will be your afternoon or late morning, depending on where you are in the US. Because my partner has a meeting, so I might be able to squeeze in a live there. 2, 4, 5. And given the current poll I have, I do have a poll on my community tab as to what projects to start next for my drops patterns. Right now, it looks like we will be starting on a poncho. Let's see if it's still the case. I do believe so, though. One, two, 3, 4, and 5. Yep, 5. Right now we have 46% of the votes wants me to make the poncho. 31% wants to make the sweet caress cowl. 50% water pearl shawl and 8% the capellina bucket hats. I do believe there was suggestions as for the headband to make a cowl. I would need more yarn to do that. And I don't have more of this yarn, so I would have to buy yarn to do so. Plus, that was not a request from the person receiving it. So therefore no cowl planned. And I need to make a 2 in here. If I've calculated correctly, then I can insert a stitch marker and count to 45. And I do want to count in this case because I really do not want to frock. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, 2, 4, 45, and a treble. Yeah, hallelujah. Half row complete. And to make Dawn happy, I am going to finish the other half row, and then, my friends, it has to become the end, because then I really need to go, or I will not reach to finish dinner on time and clean up everything else. But it is possible. I should just be able to reach that, and then I really gotta fly, so to say. One, two, three, 4. Yeah. Dawn is making shell stitches until 2026. New heart collectors? I have yarns for making 2 different heart collectors, and I just need to get started. sort of postpone it a bit because I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of work in it. I was actually thinking on making a Heart Collectors like my live project. Every time I go live, we can work on it. And then it's finishing when it's finishing. But the thing is, doesn't matter which of them I'll do. I will have to color control the yarn, and that means I will have to unwind and cut some yarn and stuff like that. Oh yes, the baby dress. What pattern is it that you're making? Would you share? Like, what pattern did you end up choosing? I totally forgot about the baby dress. But it's good news, right? It's life. New life coming in. I love that. There's treble posts and windows on the Heart Collectors, no shells. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. It's just because it's spanning out. Alright, it's a little bit about the Heart Collectors to some extent reminds me of the Ultimate Sacrifice because of the shape. I understand. It is a blessing. Life is a blessing. Life is a blessing. 2, 4, 5. And add double crochet in the single here up top. Life is definitely a blessing. You all should be happy as well. It's quite simple actually to make the Ultimate Sacrifice once you got the heart center down and so on. I have some yarn that I want to make it in again, like in a different yarn, which I think could make really gorgeous. I just haven't gotten around it because, well, I have so many other projects I'm working on. Let's first finish off this. Then I probably should start the Heart Collectors. I just need to decide. I have two options for Heart Collectors. I have the muffin from Pleta, and then I have some twisters from Hobby, and I want to make it one in each actually. The Beautiful Shells Blanket, an easy shell stitch baby girl's dress for beginners tutorial by MyWorldofCrochet. Oh, so you're also making a blanket, or you're only making the dress? Because it sounds like they go hand in hand as a set, or could be a set. Just making the dress or also the blanket? Both blanket and dress. Nice. Aw, I get all fuzzy warmth. Let's count. It should be 5 here as well. Yep, there is. And the light went on. We need to do 5 doubles around the chain. 3, 4, and a 5. Then we need to do a double in the previous double. Why do I have the feeling there's more? There isn't. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we need to do a couple of doubles here. And then we need to do 2 doubles and treble in the very last stitch, which is so difficult to see because it's like a chain 2. There we are. Just a moment, then I'll catch up on chat. And the treble is complete, and we have that round done. Round 10 complete. Check. 2, 2. Might just have to count just to make sure. 2, 4, 6. Oh shit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40, and 5. Perfect. Oh, that's nice with make. So Dawn says she started about 2 hours ago and is almost done with the dress. And she's making both the blanket and the dress. Same theme of shell stitches. Doesn't match exactly on shells, as there are 7 double crochets on the blanket and just 5 on the dress. Oh, but that's nice. I do like shell stitches. They often turn out really nice though. So yeah, hey, round 10 complete after frocking 20 rows. Jesus. Not something that I'm particularly pleased about having to do. Actually, it's more than, because that was round 10. Round 11 complete. And next row is a treble, 4 doubles, and 45 front post double crochets per side, plus 2 chains in the middle, which is going to be another good day, and not today, because else I will not get to cook dinner in time and I will have disappointed people, which is definitely not something I'm going to do. Looks like we will be making a poncho. The question is, I will likely be live tomorrow, so, but that's going to be in the evening. Right now it's late afternoon. So I'll be likely going to be live. If everything goes well, I'll be live tomorrow evening, and that will be at around in 40, somewhere between 40, yeah, probably 40, no, not 40, 27-ish hours from now, I think. And yeah, they look gorgeous. So I'm really happy about that. We did reach to some progress. I'm not so happy about frocking, but I'm happy about that. It sounds wrong, right? I really hated frocking, but I'm kind of happy I did. Does it make sense? I will hopefully see you if you are around tomorrow. Feel free to pop in for tomorrow afternoon, your time's live. That would be nice. I also understand if you can't make it for various reasons. But yeah, I'm planning on being live tomorrow. So let's see if I can just pop back up. Actually, I should be able to do that. So if I pop this one back up, hallelujah. That would be nice. Ta-ta. So as said, the intention is to come live again tomorrow evening. If I finished everything on time, then I will pop on for a few hours tomorrow evening. And then Monday, I want to jump live, and then I'm off for a bit because I'm having family on visit, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I'm going to say happy crafting and take care. Wonderful to see you around. If you're one of those silent watchers that didn't say anything, thank you for watching. Thank you for anyone that's rewatching this live. Yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe. Then you do also get notified when I do pop up live. And I will try to make a bit more regular live streaming schedule so people maybe can plan a bit around it. So it was wonderful to hang around with you guys. It was a very nice and cozy time. So yeah, all my love to you. Bye.